Hi, welcome to ITC568 Cloud Privacy and Security. I'm Peter White and I'll be taking you through this particular subject this session. This is an interesting subject. This is going to start to focus on some other issues around the cloud, particularly looking at privacy, security and their application to business. So what we'll be looking at here is, rather than from a technical point of view, from the legal, business and privacy requirements for cloud. Right, so we're going to look at it really from the business side. We'll look at risk management requirements for the cloud. We'll look at what are the legal, ethical and business concerns around security and privacy. We'll consider things like the Australian Mandatory Data Breach legislation, the European GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, and how they affect us. And then as part of this, as part of our assignments, we'll actually start to develop proposed security controls and policies so that we can look at how it would do this. And we'll look at a cloud governance framework to underpin our operations. And so hopefully you'll be able to take this, the results of this subject, and look for them straight into work at work. If you need to contact me as an adjunct lecturer, the best way is always email, because being adjunct, I have a real everyday job and just do this part-time. So email pe.white@csu.edu. Please put ITC568 in the subject line so that I know which subject you're coming from. So I do teach a number of subjects. And also it gets past the spam filter. Of course, the other thing is comments on the Interact discussion board where everybody can see them, including myself. So Interact is our main site for resources. And in the resources section and around that area, you'll find that the various different topics, and we'll have a different topic for each week. You'll find the subject outline. There'll be links to readings. We'll be doing some teamwork, so the governance team sites will be in there. There'll be some online meetings, which we'll have each week. Articles, the discussion board, and of course we'll record the online sessions, and you'll be able to access those recordings. As I said, we'll have a weekly study topic in which will include a number of things, some readings, some exercises, probably some videos, perhaps some activities, and possibly some research requirements. And so by keeping up with this, you'll be able to keep up with the subject quite easily. We'll have an online session each week on Thursday evenings, commencing at 1900, 7 p.m. And I'll record these sessions, and the MP4 recording will be available probably within an hour or so of the session finishing. So you'll always be able to get to that and download it and go over it if you need to. This subject needs you to do a reasonable amount of research, and you'll do some of it on your own and some of it you'll do as part of your governance too. And so what we'll do with the online sessions is we will run the first part of it basically as a kind of lecture, followed by discussion. So the point that I want to get across to you is that just relying on session notes may not give you enough information to successfully complete the subject, so you will need to do some research. And of course, researching means you're going to have to reference, and if you're going to have to reference, I highly recommend you use a reference manager. There's three that I would recommend: Mendeley, Zotero, and EndNote. Mendeley and Zotero are free ones that you can download, and the web URLs are there. EndNote is a commercial one, so it's a paid version, but CSU has a version you can download from the library. The beauty thing about a reference manager is it helps you to correctly cite your sources and build a reference list, and it will automatically, when you want to cite things in text, it will do the citation correctly and build the reference list at the same time. So this is really, really, really handy. I highly suggest you start downloading one and start to train yourself to use it today, because it will be very, very handy. Okay, we have 5 assignments in this and no exam. Okay, the first 2 assignments, the first assignment is a privacy and security reflection, which is an individual assignment. The second assignment, you will do a risk assessment, again an individual assignment. The third and fourth assignments are both team assignments, so this is where you'll be broken up into teams, and you'll see that on the site shortly. And the first assignment is developing a privacy and data protection policy, and the second assignment for the team, that is the fourth assignment, will be to develop a personally identifiable information strategy. So those 2 as team team assignments. The final assignment, again, an individual assignment where you'll look at privacy, security, and ethics, and you'll look at it from the point of view of clients of the case study that we're looking at. As I said, there's no exam. If you do want an extension because of work commitments or whatever, make sure you apply for it before the due date. Right? It's no good applying on or after. You need to think about that before the date. As I said, we'll be broken up into governance teams, and I'll try to get you into relatively small teams, 4 to 5 people. And this is how most work is done in the industry. A lot of this governance work is usually done in small teams. And so the beautiful thing about this is you can share ideas, you can learn things from each other, and by splitting up the work between you, you can develop a really good framework very quickly by that working cooperatively. And so the governance team is a really good way of approaching things. Now, as far as the team assessments go, we assess your work in the team in a number of ways. We'll firstly look at the quality of the work that the team puts out. We'll then look at the quality of the documentation that's produced by the team. And then we'll then look at each individual team member's contribution. And we'll look at your contribution to the framework, your contribution to the documentation, your contributions to the team discussions. So this means you've got to start talking to each other. Of course, guys, one of the problems with this is if you don't do anything in the team discussion, don't contribute anything, then you will score 0 points for it and effectively fail the assignment. And that can be kind of critical for it. So you need to contribute to teamwork. So the various assignments. Assignment 1, an individual assignment, 10%. You start to reflect on personal approach to food and so on. So again, there's a case study there. You've got to read the case study and see how do you feel about that. Okay, it's an interesting one. Assignment 2, now with 25%, a risk assessment, and you'll again in the case study you'll be seeing that the charity that you're working with is starting to move to software as a service application offerings, and so you'll start to do a risk assessment. And so there are certain criteria there that you need. Assignment 3, the first of your team assignments. Here you'll develop some privacy and personal data protection strategies, and you'll do this as a team. Right? So again, make sure you read through the case study requirements and start talking to the other members of your team fairly early in the process. Don't leave it until a day or two before the assignment's due. It ain't going to work like that in a team environment. Assignment 4, also a team assignment. You have to develop a personally identifiable information, privacy, and personal data protection strategy. This is kind of a critical one. This is something that really is very, very topical in the industry today, because this is something that a lot of people really don't have. They might have a privacy policy, but it really doesn't go to looking at PII data and so on. So we need to start thinking about how to do that. And then the final one, again, an individual assignment, and you're considering the personal security, privacy, and ethical implications for the clients of this particular case study that you've been working through with the session. So again, go through the requirements. It's, as I said, a very, very interesting subject. It's very real world, it's very topical, and it will be also very interesting. If you have any questions, please fire an email off to me at pe@csu.edu.au. I do monitor it most of the time while I'm at work, or throw a question up on the discussion board, and I usually look at that every couple of days. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the subject. See you soon.